Alright, so I went down the Pokimane rabbit hole, and honestly, it's way deeper than I thought. Like, I expected a few old controversies, maybe a couple of dumb takes, but no. This girl's internet history is basically a time capsule of how the creator world grew up. Let me explain. Back in 2018 or so, Pokimane gets into this whole copyright drama. Someone, I think it was Boblax, uploads a compilation of her arguing with Keemstar, and she strikes it down. PewDiePie sees it, calls her out for being hypocritical, and boom, everyone piles in. And yeah, she said it was a fair use thing, but come on, that whole situation made her look like the corporate version of a streamer. Like, one of those people who says, "Don't clip my content," but then reacts to other people's videos all day. It was petty. Then, a few years later, that old clip resurfaces. You know, the one from 2013, when she was like 16, dropping the N-word while raging in League. That thing exploded. And yeah, it was bad, even if it was 10 years old. She apologized, she said she didn't know better, she was young, and look, maybe that's true, but it's also one of those moments where you realize how nothing ever really disappears on the internet. The internet waits for you to get famous, then it drags out the receipts. That's just how it works. Related to this, in 2022, Gideon goes after her live on stream. Like, literally raids her chat, plays that same old clip of her saying the word, and tells his chat to spam her with hate, and her whole chat just turns into this cesspool of slurs and suicide baiting. It was disgusting. She had to end the stream early. Twitch ends up banning Gideon. Anyway, skip to 2023, and now Poki's launching her own snack brand. Minus snacks, $28 cookies. Yeah, 28. Bro, you could buy a week's worth of Oreos for that. So obviously, the internet did what it does. It roasted her. People started calling her out for overpricing and selling influencer junk food. And instead of taking the L, she replied to some guy calling him a broke boy.
It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyways.
She did apologize later, said it was a bad joke, but that line stuck. Broke boy became a meme. Then this year, things start to get wild again. She drops a bombshell on her podcast, talking about how some Twitch safety employee literally faked a relationship with her to manipulate women in her community. That's crazy. And the way she talked about it, it didn't sound like she was chasing clout. It sounded like someone genuinely freaked out that the system protecting her was the one exploiting her.
So what he would do is he would approach women in my community, and because, he was followed by all these streamers, because he had all of these connects, he seemed like a really reputable person. And he would start building some sort of friendship with them, but then he would start talking about like how depressed he is or how suicidal he is. And so of course he would garner these girls' sympathies, and then he would start talking about this like fake relationship that he and I had.
And for once, people actually listened. It started this whole hashtag Twitch accountability thing. Like, creators actually got serious about who's running these platforms. Gotta give Pokimane credits when it's due. But then not long after that, she's on stream ranting about how she hates the rich. And oh my god, the internet loved that one. Because here's this millionaire streamer saying she hates rich people.
Wage gap is like between men and women. Men and women, we love each other.
Thanks.
And we hate the rich. Anyways. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No!
Pokey, I get what you mean, but when your room looks like a Pinterest ad and your cookies cost half a tank of gas, maybe don't start the sentence with "I hate the rich." XQC and Sneeko jumped on it instantly, calling her out. And just when you think it's quiet, boom, October 2025, she's doing this podcast with Lily Pichu, and they recorded an episode with Hassan as a guest. You have to understand, at this point, Hassan is in the middle of the whole Collargate controversy. But then, literally a day before it drops, all hell breaks loose online. They pulled the plan to drop the episode. Pokimane started to get hate from both sides. Half the internet's going, good, finally someone holding Hassan accountable. The other half's like, this is such fake virtue signaling, you're throwing your guest under the bus for clout. Then, a few hours later, Poki jumps on X and drops the twist. She's like, the episode was supposed to go out as usual, but the staff refused to upload it out of fear it'd cause drama. And they posted that statement without my approval. And that changed everything, because suddenly this wasn't Pokimane cancels Hassan. It was Pokimane's staff cancels Hassan without telling her. And, I mean, everyone knew what that meant. Someone's getting fired.
Also, we had/have someone who helps us with socials, who's also stepping down. We have an editor who's incredible, but also has a full-time job. So over the last month-ish, we've just had a lot of restructuring issues within our staff. So when I made that tweet, it sounded like we're restructuring because of this and I'm firing everybody. But that's not what I meant. I literally meant we are in the middle of restructuring.
But that tweet, it opened another can of worms, because now her own fans started turning on her, saying she threw her staff under the bus. I heard a lot of valid takes from other creators, especially Asmongold. He basically said she lacked empathy, that she should have protected her staff from hate, not exposed them. He even pointed out how her tweet might have gotten those employees harassed. And to be fair, he's kind of right about that part.
Because this is an issue, right? And I think that, it's a lack of empathy, I think, with her. And I'll explain the reason why I say that. The reason why I say that is because I think that she should understand that while she has a big fan base and a lot of people are fans of her and they're going to defend her and she's got a lot of people that like her, a lot of her staff don't have that. And so what happens is that the staff are now getting attacked on social media. People are being hostile to them. Somebody sends in a mean message to the Patreon of this, of this thing, and, or to the YouTube channel. You want to know who's going to read that? It's going to be the staff that are going to read that. So if I was her and I saw that my staff had put out a statement like this, I will be honest, it would fucking annoy me. It would make me mad. It would piss me the fuck off, because they should have asked me before they said this and they should have talked to me ahead of time. I'd be fucking mad. But what I would have done is I would have said, listen, I understand that a lot of you guys like Hassan, but there's a lot of people that don't like him right now, and I don't want to put my staff in a situation where they could be caught in the crossfire between, my friendship with somebody else and internet drama.
The podcast went on hiatus. No new episodes, and the internet, of course, moved on to the next circus. She's had her fair share of drama, but when it comes to using her platform for something real, she's done it more than most. Let me explain. In July 2024, CDOG VA is running this massive auction for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. A bunch of creators showed up. Pokimane puts up this play a game with me session, just a fun little hangout for charity, and somehow it turns into a $500,000 bidding war. $500,000 for a few hours of gaming with Poki. Even CDOG looked stunned. And when it finally closed at around $533,000 total raised, Poki was right there in person, cheering with the rest of them. It was one of those rare moments where the internet actually used its chaos for something good. Yeah, it's ridiculous that playing Valorant with a streamer is worth more than some people's houses, but that night, that insanity turned into real money for people who actually needed it. For every headline about overpriced cookies or podcast drama, there's another side that doesn't trend, the one where she quietly helps raise $500,000 for a cause she didn't even make about herself. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe and like the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.